Park Do-yun stood at the window of his small house and watched the white storm swallow everything. The trees were gone. The road was gone. Even the old barn at the edge of his property was just a dark shape in the white. He had lived in this mountain village for 15 years, and he had never seen a storm like this one. "Dad, the power is out again," said Yuna from behind him. Do-yun turned to look at his daughter. She was 9 years old, small for her age, with big eyes that always seemed to be looking for something interesting. She held a flashlight in one hand and her favorite blanket in the other. The blanket was old and worn, with pictures of rabbits on it. Her mother had made it for her before she died. "I know," Do-yun said, "but we have candles and the fireplace. We will be okay." He walked to the fireplace and added more wood. The flames grew higher and filled the room with warm orange light. Outside, the wind screamed like a wounded animal. The windows shook in their frames. Do-hyun had been a medic in the military for 12 years. He had seen bad situations before. He knew how to stay calm when things went wrong. After his wife died 3 years ago, he had moved back to this village with Yuna. He opened a small shop that sold emergency supplies. Flashlights, batteries, first aid kits, things like that. It was a quiet life, a safe life. That was what he wanted for his daughter. "Are you hungry?" he asked Yuna. She shook her head. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think anyone else is stuck in the storm? Like, maybe someone who needs help?" Do-yun looked at her. This was how Yuna was. She always thought about others. Even when they had very little money, she wanted to give her lunch to kids who had less. Even when she was scared, she worried about other people first. "Everyone in the village knows about the storm," he said. "They are all safe in their homes, just like us." Yuna nodded, but she did not look convinced. She walked to the window and pressed her nose against the cold glass. The snow was so thick that the world outside looked like a white wall. "I hear something," she said suddenly. "It is just the wind." "No, Dad. Listen." Do-yun stopped moving. He listened. At first, he heard only the wind and the cracking of the fire. But then, very faintly, he heard it too. A sound that was not the wind. It was high and strange, like a whistle mixed with a cry. It came from outside, from the direction of the old barn. "It is probably an animal," he said. "Maybe a deer got lost in the storm." "It does not sound like a deer," Yuna said. She looked at him with those big eyes. "Dad, what if something is hurt out there?" "Yuna, I cannot go outside in this storm. It is too dangerous." "But what if it dies? What if we could have helped, but we did not?" Do-yun sighed. He knew that tone in her voice. She would not let this go. And honestly, some part of him was curious too. That sound was strange. It was not like any animal he knew. "Fine," he said. "I will look. But you stay here." "No way," Yuna said. "I am coming with you. Yuna, I will stay right behind you, I promise. Please, Dad." He looked at her determined face and knew he would not win this argument. She was stubborn just like her mother had been. "Okay," he said, "but you wear your warmest coat. And you hold my hand the whole time. If I say we go back, we go back. Understand?" "I understand." They put on their heavy coats, boots, gloves, and hats. Do-yun took the biggest flashlight from his shop supplies. He also took a rope and tied one end to the door handle of the house. If they got lost in the snow, the rope would lead them home. When he opened the door, the cold hit them like a punch. The wind threw snow into their faces. Do-hyun could barely see 3 steps ahead. He held Yuna's hand tight and started walking toward the barn. The snow was up to his knees. Every step was hard work. Yuna struggled behind him, but she did not complain. The rope unrolled behind them as they walked. The sound came again. It was louder now, closer. Do-hyun felt something cold in his stomach. That was not from the weather. That sound was wrong. It was not natural. It was not from this world. He almost turned back. Almost. But then Yuna squeezed his hand and said, "We are almost there, Dad." The barn appeared in front of them like a ghost. But something was wrong. Something was very wrong. There was a hole in the side of the barn, a big hole, like something had crashed through it. And inside the hole, Do-hyun saw something that made him stop breathing. It was a machine, a vehicle of some kind. But it was not a car or a truck or a helicopter. It was something else. It was smooth and silver and shaped like a teardrop. Strange symbols glowed faintly on its side, blue and green, and colors that Do-hyun did not have names for. "Dad?" Yuna whispered. "What is that?" Do-hyun did not answer. He could not answer. His mind was trying to understand what his eyes were seeing. This was not possible. This could not be real, but it was real. It was right in front of him. Then the sound came again, from inside the machine. It was weaker now, more desperate, and this time Do-hyun understood what it was. It was a voice. It was calling for help. Yuna pulled on his hand. "Dad, someone is in there. Someone needs help." Do-hyun's military training kicked in. His fear did not go away, but he pushed it to the side. Whatever was in that machine, it was hurt. It was trapped. It was dying. He had spent 12 years saving lives. He was not going to stop now. "Stay behind me," he told Yuna. He walked toward the machine. The symbols on its side pulsed like a heartbeat. He found what looked like a door, but there was no handle. He pushed against it. Nothing happened. He pushed harder. Still nothing. "Please," he said out loud. "I am trying to help. Open." And then, like the machine heard him, the door moved. It slid open with a soft sound. Do-hyun looked inside, and his whole life changed forever. The inside of the machine was dark except for a few blinking lights. Do-hyun held up his flashlight, and the beam cut through the shadows. What he saw made his heart stop for a moment. There were two figures inside. They were not human. The first one was tall and thin, maybe a little taller than Do-hyun. Her skin was the color of silver mixed with pale blue, and it looked smooth like glass. She had large eyes that were completely dark, like pools of black water. Her head was slightly longer than a human head, and instead of hair, she had thin ridges that ran from her forehead to the back of her neck. She wore clothes that looked like they were made of liquid metal. She was holding something in her arms. A child. The child was small, maybe the size of a 5-year-old. She had the same silver-blue skin as her mother, but her features were softer, rounder. Her eyes were closed. Frost was forming on her face and on her small hands. The mother looked at Do-hyun. Her dark eyes were full of fear. She tried to move away from him, but she was too weak. She held her child tighter and made a sound that needed no translation. It was the sound of a mother protecting her baby. "Dad," Yuna said from behind him. Her voice was shaking. "Dad, her child is freezing." Do-hyun heard those words, and something changed inside him. He was not looking at aliens anymore. He was not looking at something strange and unknown. He was looking at a mother and her daughter who were dying in the cold. And he knew exactly what that felt like. He knew what it meant to hold your child and feel helpless. "I am not going to hurt you," he said to the alien mother. He spoke slowly and kept his voice soft. "I want to help." She did not understand his words, but maybe she understood his tone, because some of the fear left her eyes. She looked at Yuna, who was staring at the alien child with tears in her eyes. Then she looked back at Do-hyun. She said something in a language that sounded like music and wind chimes. He did not understand, but he thought he knew what she was asking. She was asking if he could save her daughter. "Yes," he said. "I will try. I will try." He reached out his hands slowly, showing her that they were empty, showing her that he meant no harm. The mother watched him for a long moment. Then, with great effort, she lifted her child toward him. Do-hyun took the alien child in his arms. She was so light, like she was made of air. Her skin was cold, very cold, colder than ice. Her breathing was shallow and slow. She did not have much time left. "Yuna, hold her," he said. Yuna did not hesitate. She opened her arms, and Do-hyun placed the alien child in them. Yuna held her like she was made of glass, gentle and careful. The child was almost the same size as Yuna, but so much lighter. "She is so cold, Dad," Yuna said. "She is so cold." "I know. We need to get them inside. Now." He turned back to the mother. She was trying to stand, but her legs would not hold her. Do-hyun put his arm under her shoulders and lifted her. She was light too, lighter than a human woman her size would be. She leaned against him, and he could feel her body shaking. "Can you walk?" he asked. She looked at him with those dark eyes. Then she took a step, and another. She was weak, but she was fighting. She was fighting to stay alive for her daughter. They made their way out of the crashed machine and into the storm. The wind had gotten worse. The snow was blinding, but Do-hyun had the rope. He followed it back toward the house, one step at a time, holding the alien mother against his side. Behind him, Yuna walked with the alien child in her arms, her head bent against the wind. It was the longest walk of Do-hyun's life. Every step was a battle. The cold cut through his coat like knives. His fingers went numb. His face went numb. But he kept going. He kept going because he could feel the alien mother fighting beside him. He kept going because he could hear Yuna behind him, talking softly to the alien child, telling her it was going to be okay, telling her they were almost home. Finally, the house appeared in front of them. Do-hyun pushed the door open and they fell inside. The warmth of the fire hit them like a wave. He kicked the door closed behind them, and the howl of the storm became quiet. He helped the alien mother to the floor near the fireplace. She collapsed there, too weak to sit up, but her eyes never left her child. Yuna knelt beside her and showed her that the child was still breathing. "She is alive," Yuna said. "See? She is alive." The mother reached out and touched her daughter's face. She made a sound that was like crying, but no tears came from those dark eyes. Maybe her kind did not cry, but Do-hyun understood. He understood perfectly. "We need to warm them up," he said, "but slowly. If we warm them too fast, it could hurt them." He ran to the bedroom and grabbed every blanket he could find. He brought them back to the living room and wrapped them around the mother and child. He boiled water and filled bottles with it, then wrapped the bottles in cloth and placed them near the aliens' bodies. Not touching them, just near them. Gentle heat, slow heat. Yuna sat beside the alien child and held her small hand. "Is she going to be okay, Dad?" "I do not know," Do-hyun said honestly. "Her body is different from ours. I do not know what temperature is safe for her. I do not know what could hurt her." He looked at the mother. "I do not know anything about them." But he knew some things. He knew that hypothermia was hypothermia. He knew that slow warming was better than fast warming. He knew that bodies needed heat to survive. These rules were true for all life. They had to be. He worked through the night. He checked their breathing. He checked their skin. He moved the heat sources closer when they seemed stable, then moved them away if the aliens seemed uncomfortable. The mother watched him the whole time. She watched everything he did, and slowly, so slowly, some of the fear left her eyes. Around midnight, the alien child moved. She turned her head and made a soft sound. Her eyes opened just a little. They were dark like her mother's, but there was a ring of gold around the edges. Beautiful eyes. Strange and beautiful. The mother made a sound of joy. She pulled her daughter closer and held her tight. Yuna smiled through her tears. She is waking up, Dad. She is waking up. Do-yun sat back and let out a breath he did not know he was holding. He was exhausted. His whole body hurt. But he felt something he had not felt in a long time. He felt like he had done something good, something important. Outside, the storm continued to rage. But inside the small house, 4 beings from 2 different worlds huddled together near the fire. And for now, that was enough. By morning, the storm was still howling outside. But inside the house, things had changed. The alien mother was sitting up. She was still weak, still wrapped in blankets, but she was awake and alert. Her dark eyes followed Do-yun as he moved around the room, but the fear was mostly gone now. In its place was something else. Curiosity, maybe. Or caution. The child was better, too. Her breathing was stronger. Her skin was not so cold. She was sleeping now, real sleep, not the dangerous sleep of hypothermia. Yuna sat beside her, still holding her hand. Do-hyun made soup. It was simple soup, just vegetables and rice. He did not know if the aliens could eat human food. He did not know if it would hurt them. But they needed something warm in their bodies, and soup was the safest thing he could think of. He brought a bowl to the mother and held it out to her. She looked at it, then looked at him. He took a small sip himself, showing her it was safe. She watched, then took the bowl from him. She smelled it first. Then she took a tiny sip. Her face made an expression he could not read. But she took another sip and another. That was good enough. "I wish I could talk to you," Do-hyun said. "I have so many questions." The mother set down the bowl. She pointed to herself and made a sound. "Lyra." Do-hyun blinked. "Lyra? Is that your name?" She pointed to herself again. "Lyra." "Lyra," he repeated. He pointed to himself. "Do-hyun." "Do-hyun," she said slowly. Her voice made the sound strange, but she was trying. She pointed at Yuna. "Yuna," he said. "My daughter, Yuna." "Yuna," Lyra repeated. Then she pointed at her own sleeping child. "Teo." "Teo," Yuna said softly. "That is pretty. Hi, Teo." Lyra watched this exchange with something like wonder on her face. Then she did something unexpected. She pressed her hand to her chest, right over her heart, and bowed her head toward Do-yun. It was clearly a gesture of thanks. Do-yun bowed his head back. "You are welcome." Later that day, Lyra went back to the crashed machine. Do-yun went with her, worried about her strength, but she was determined. She found a small device inside and brought it back to the house. It was round and flat, about the size of Do-yun's palm. She touched it and it glowed to life. She spoke into it and then touched Do-yun's arm. "Speak," she said. Her voice came from the device but also from her mouth at the same time. Do-yun understood. It was a translator. But it needed to learn his language first. He started talking. He told it simple things. "This is a house. This is fire. This is water. This is food." Lyra repeated each word, and the device blinked and hummed. It was learning. By evening, they could talk. Not perfectly. The device made mistakes. Some words did not translate, but they could understand each other more or less. "Where do you come from?" Do-yun asked. Lyra looked at the window, at the storm outside. "Far away, a world with 2 suns. Very warm, always warm." She pulled the blanket tighter around herself. "Not like this. This cold is... We have no word for it. Our people have never felt cold like this. What happened? Why did you crash?" Her face became sad. "Our world is gone, destroyed, a great war. We lost." She touched her chest. "We are refugees. We ran, many ships, many families, all running. My ship had damage. It failed. I crashed here." Do-yun felt a pain in his chest. He thought about Yuna, about what he would do if his world was destroyed. He would run too. He would do anything to save his daughter. "I am sorry," he said. "I am so sorry." "You're kind," Lyra said carefully. "We have stories about your kind. Humans. We were told you are dangerous, violent, territorial." "We were told to never come here." Do-hyun did not know what to say to that. He thought about human history, wars, violence, cruelty. The stories were not wrong. "Some humans are dangerous," he said finally. "But not all. Not most. Most humans are just trying to live, trying to take care of their families, trying to be good." Lyra looked at Yuna, who was showing Teo how to play with a simple puzzle toy. Teo was still weak, but she was sitting up now. Her small hands tried to copy what Yuna was doing. When she made a mistake, Yuna did not get frustrated. She just smiled and showed her again. "Your daughter," Lyra said. "She was not afraid of us." "No," Do-hyun said. "She was not." "Why?" Do-hyun thought about it. "Because she saw a child who needed help. That is all she saw. She did not see something strange or scary. She saw someone who was cold and hurt, and she wanted to help." He paused. "That is who she is. That is who her mother taught her to be." "Her mother?" "My wife. She died 3 years ago." Lyra's eyes softened. "I am sorry. Thank you." They sat in silence for a moment, watching their daughters together. Teo was getting better at the puzzle. When she finally solved it, her face lit up with joy. And then something amazing happened. Glowing patterns appeared on her skin, soft gold light that pulsed like a heartbeat. It was beautiful. Yuna gasped with delight. "Dad, look! She is glowing!" Lyra smiled. It was the first real smile Do-hyun had seen from her. "It means she is happy. Our people show emotion through light. When we are happy, we glow warm colors. When we are sad or afraid, the light goes cold." As if to show him, Lyra's own skin began to glow, a soft blue-silver light, warmer than before. It was beautiful and strange and wonderful. "That is amazing," Do-hyun said. "Your people have expressions on your faces," Lyra said. "We have light. It is not so different." That night, after the children were asleep, Lyra told Do-hyun more about her people. They were scientists and artists. They had technology that humans had never dreamed of. Medical science that could cure almost any disease. Energy that was clean and endless. They had wanted to share it with other worlds, but they had been too afraid of humans. "We watched you from far away," Lyra said. "We saw your wars, your weapons. We thought, these beings will use our gifts to destroy, so we stayed hidden." "And now?" Do-hyun asked. Lyra looked at him. In the firelight, her skin glowed soft gold. "Now I do not know what to think. You could have left us to die. You could have turned us over to your leaders, but you saved us. You brought us into your home. You fed us and warmed us and asked for nothing in return." She paused. "Maybe we were wrong about humans. Maybe we only saw part of the truth." "We are complicated," Do-hyun said. "We can be terrible, but we can also be kind. We can be brave. We can love strangers and sacrifice for them. Both things are true." Lyra nodded slowly. "Both things are true," she repeated. "I think I understand." Outside, the storm showed no sign of stopping. But inside the small house, something was happening that had never happened before in the history of two species. Trust was being built, one word at a time, one kindness at a time. And it started with a father and daughter who refused to let strangers freeze. The snow piled higher and higher against the windows. The wind never rested. The world outside was white and empty and cold. But inside Do-hyun's house, life went on, and something beautiful was happening. Yuna and Teo had become best friends. It started with small things. Yuna showed Teo her toys, her books, her drawings. Teo did not understand the words in the books, but she loved the pictures. She pointed at animals and made questioning sounds, and Yuna told her what each one was called: dog, cat, bird, fish. Teo repeated each word, her voice making them sound like music. They played games together, simple games that did not need language. They built towers with blocks and laughed when they fell down. They drew pictures with crayons, and Teo's pictures were strange and beautiful, full of shapes that Yuna had never seen before. They made up a clapping game with their hands, and soon they had their own rhythm that they both knew by heart. Teo was getting stronger every day. The color was coming back to her skin. She smiled more and more, and when she smiled, her golden glow lit up the room. She followed Yuna everywhere like a little shadow, and Yuna loved it. She had always wanted a sister. "Dad, look," Yuna said one afternoon. She and Teo were sitting on the floor drawing together. Teo had drawn a picture of their house, with 4 figures standing in front of it. 2 tall, 2 small, 2 with round heads, 2 with ridged heads, 1 family. Do-hyun felt a lump in his throat. "That is beautiful, Teo." Teo looked up at him and glowed bright gold. She pointed at the picture and said something in her language. The translator hummed. "Family," it said. Lyra watched from across the room. Her eyes were soft. "She has not smiled like this since before our world fell," she said quietly. "She has not felt safe enough to smile." "She is safe here," Do-hyun said. "I know." Lyra paused. "I know." That night, after the children were asleep, Do-hyun and Lyra talked for hours. He told her about his life, about his years in the military, saving lives in difficult places, about meeting his wife, falling in love, building a family, about the sickness that took her, fast and cruel, leaving him alone with a 6-year-old daughter who asked every night when Mommy was coming home. "It was the hardest thing I ever did," he said, "learning to live without her. Learning to be enough for Yuna on my own." Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I understand. Do you have a husband? Teo's father?" Lyra's skin flickered with pale blue light. Sadness. "He died in the war. He was a pilot. He flew one of the ships that tried to protect our evacuation fleet. His ship was destroyed. Teo was only 3. She barely remembers him. I am sorry. I think about him every day. I think about what he would want me to do. He would want me to keep Teo safe. He would want me to find a new home for us." She looked at Do-hyun. "He would like you, I think. You are the kind of person he was. Strong but kind. Brave but gentle." Do-hyun did not know what to say. He felt something warm in his chest, something he had not felt in a long time. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "Yes." "What happens when the storm ends? What will you do?" Lyra's glow faded a little. "I do not know. My ship is destroyed. I cannot repair it. I have no way to contact my fleet, if there even is a fleet left to contact. I do not know if anyone survived." She looked at the window, at the endless white. "I do not know where to go." "You could stay here," Do-hyun said. The words came out before he could stop them. "I mean, at least until you figure out what to do. You could stay with us." Lyra looked at him. Her dark eyes searched his face. "You would do that? You would let us stay, even though it is dangerous for you?" "Dangerous. If your government finds out you are hiding us, they will punish you. We are aliens. We are unknown. They will be afraid, and afraid people do terrible things." Do-hyun knew she was right. He knew the risks. But he thought about Yuna and Teo drawing pictures together. He thought about the way Teo glowed when she was happy. He thought about Lyra, alone and afraid, trying to protect her daughter in a cold and unfamiliar world. "Some things are more important than safety," he said. Lyra's skin glowed warm gold. Slowly, she reached out and touched his hand. Her fingers were cool and smooth. "Thank you," she said. Thank you, Do-hyun. The next day, something happened that changed everything. Teo was playing with Yuna's favorite blanket, the one with the rabbits on it, the one her mother had made. She wrapped it around herself and spun in circles, laughing, and then she tripped. She fell and hit her head on the corner of the table. It was not a bad fall, just a bump. But Teo started crying. Not loud crying, but soft, scared crying. And her glow went cold. Pale blue, almost white. The light pulsed fast, like a frightened heartbeat. Lyra rushed to her, speaking quickly in their language. But Teo kept crying. She was scared, and the translator did not work fast enough for Lyra to comfort her. And then Yuna did something simple, something human. She sat down next to Teo. She took the blanket and wrapped it around both of them, and she started to sing. It was a lullaby, an old Korean lullaby that Yuna's mother used to sing to her. The words were simple, and the melody was soft. Yuna did not have a great voice, but that did not matter. She sang anyway. Teo stopped crying. She looked at Yuna. She listened. And slowly, her glow changed. The cold blue became warmer, then warmer still, until finally she was glowing soft gold again. She leaned her head against Yuna's shoulder and closed her eyes. Yuna kept singing until Teo fell asleep. Lyra stood there, watching. Tears were running down her face, actual tears. Do-hyun had thought her kind could not cry. "Lyra," he said. "We can cry," she said softly. "We just need a very strong reason." She wiped her face. "Your daughter, she—" "I know," Do-hyun said. "I know." He looked at Yuna, holding Teo in her arms, wrapped in the blanket her mother had made. And he felt proud. So proud. His wife would be proud too. This was what she had taught their daughter. This was the gift she had given her. The ability to love without boundaries. The courage to care for strangers. The understanding that comfort does not need language and kindness does not need permission. That night, Lyra made a decision. "When I find my people again," she said to Do-hyun, "I will tell them about you, about humans, the truth. Not the stories they have been told, the real truth." "What truth is that?" She looked at him, and her glow was the warmest he had ever seen. That humans are worth knowing, that they are worth trusting, that maybe they are worth being friends with. Do-hyun smiled. "I would like that." "So would I." Do-hyun woke up to silence. No wind, no screaming, just silence. He went to the window and saw clear blue sky. The sun was shining on a world buried in white. It was beautiful. And it was terrifying, because now the outside world would come. "The storm is over," Lyra said behind him. She was standing in the doorway, her face calm but her glow pale. She understood what this meant. "Yes," Do-hyun said, "it is over." Within hours, he could hear machines in the distance, trucks clearing the roads, helicopters flying overhead. The village was waking up after the long sleep. Soon, people would come to check on each other. Soon, someone would come to check on him, and there was still a crashed alien ship in his barn. "We need to hide it," Do-hyun said. "The ship. We need to cover it somehow." He and Lyra went outside. The snow was deep, up to his waist in some places. The barn was half buried, but the ship was still visible through the hole in the wall. Its silver surface caught the sunlight and reflected it like a mirror. Anyone flying overhead would see it. They worked fast. They pulled old blankets and sheets from the house and threw them over the ship. They piled snow on top. They found old wood and boards and leaned them against the sides. It was not a good hiding job. It would not fool anyone who looked closely, but from a distance, from the air, it might look like just another pile of storm damage. "It will have to do," Do-hyun said. They went back inside just in time. A few minutes later, there was a knock at the door. Do-hyun felt his heart jump. "Lyra, take Teo, go to the cellar now." Lyra grabbed her daughter and disappeared down the stairs. Yuna looked at her father with wide eyes. "It is okay," he told her. "Just act normal. Can you do that for me?" She nodded. Do-hyun opened the door. It was his neighbor, Kim Jae-woo. He was an old man, almost 70, with a kind face and curious eyes. He had lived in the village his whole life. "Do-hyun," he said, "you made it through. I was worried about you and the little one." "We are fine. Thank you for checking on us." Jae-woo looked past him into the house. "I saw your barn from the road. Looks like something hit it. A tree, maybe?" "Yes, a tree. The storm brought it down." "Bad luck. Do you need help cleaning it up?" No, I can handle it, thank you." Jae-woo nodded, but his eyes were still curious. He was looking at something on the floor near the doorway. Do-hyun followed his gaze and felt his stomach drop. It was one of Taeo's drawings. It had fallen from the table and was lying in plain view. A drawing of 4 figures, 2 humans and 2 aliens, standing together in front of a house. Do-hyun stepped sideways, blocking Jae-woo's view. "Well, thank you again for stopping by. We are fine here. If you need anything, I will ask. Thank you." He closed the door. His hands were shaking. He picked up the drawing and held it tight. That night, the power came back on. Do-hyun turned on the radio. The news was talking about the storm, the damage it had caused, the people who had been hurt, and then something else. "Reports are coming in about a possible meteor strike in the mountain region near the village of Hadong. Government officials are investigating. A search team is being organized." Do-hyun turned off the radio. He looked at Lyra. Her glow was pale blue, almost white. "They are coming," she said. "Yes. Then we must leave. Tonight. Taeo and I will go. We will take our chances in the wild." "That is suicide. You will freeze to death. Better than being captured. Better than letting them take my daughter to some laboratory to be studied like an animal." "Lyra, you do not understand." Her voice was hard. "I have seen what happens when powerful beings find weaker ones. Your people are not different. They will be afraid of us, and fear makes people cruel. I will not let my daughter live in a cage." Do-hyun wanted to argue. He wanted to say she was wrong, but he could not, because she was not wrong. Not completely. "There has to be another way," he said. Yuna had been listening from the other room. Now she came forward. Her face was determined. "Dad, we cannot let them go. They are our friends now. We have to help them." "Yuna, this is not simple." "I do not care if it is simple. It is right." She looked at her father with eyes that were older than her years. "Mom always said that doing the right thing is not always easy, but we still have to do it." Do-hyun looked at his daughter. She was so young, so small, but she was also strong. Stronger than he was, maybe. "Okay," he said. "Okay. We will find another way. I promise." He stayed up all night thinking. There had to be something he could do, someone he could trust, someone with enough power to help, but enough heart to do the right thing. And then he remembered. Cho Min-jae. They had served together in the military 15 years ago. Min-jae had been a medic, too. They had saved lives together. They had trusted each other with their lives. After the military, Min-jae had gone into government work. Intelligence. He was an important man now, a powerful man. But he was still the same person inside. At least, Do-hyun hoped he was. He found an old phone number in his contacts. It was the middle of the night, but he called anyway. The phone rang 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Then a voice. "Hello? Min-jae, it is Do-hyun. Park Do-hyun." Silence for a moment. Then, "Do-hyun? It has been years. What is wrong? It is 3 in the morning. I know, I am sorry. But I need your help. And I need you to trust me." "Trust you with what?" Do-yun took a deep breath. I have something at my house. Someone. Two someones. They are not from here. They are not from Earth. And they need help. Long silence. Do-yun could hear Min-jae breathing on the other end. Finally, Min-jae said, Are you telling me you have aliens in your house? Yes. Real aliens. From space. Yes. Do-yun, if this is a joke, it is not a joke. I swear on my daughter's life. I swear on my wife's memory. This is real. And I need your help. More silence. Then Min-jae said, Tell me everything. So Do-yun told him. He told him about the storm, the crash, the mother and child. He told him about warming them back to life, about the translator, about Yuna and Teo becoming friends. He told him about Lyra's fear of humans, about her willingness to die in the cold rather than be captured. When he finished, Min-jae was quiet for a long time. Do you believe me? Do-yun asked. I should not, Min-jae said. I should report this right now. It is my job. It is my duty. But, Min-jae sighed, but I remember who you are. I remember the man who risked his life to save a child in a war zone because he could not stand by and do nothing. I remember the man who never lied to me, not once, in 3 years of serving together. So you will help me? I do not know if I can help you, but I will try. He paused. The search team leaves tomorrow morning. I can delay them, misdirect them, buy you maybe 24 hours, but that is all I can do. That might be enough. Enough for what? Enough for them to find another way home. He hung up the phone. His hands were shaking. He did not know if he had just saved Lyra and Teo or doomed them. But he had to try. He had to do something. Because Yuna was right. It was the right thing to do. And that was all that mattered. The next morning, Do-yun told Lyra about his phone call with Min-jae. You told them where we are. Lyra's glow went cold, pale blue, almost white. Fear. I told someone I trust, someone who can help us. There is no one you can trust with this. No one. He is buying us time. 24 hours. That gives us a chance to get you out of here. Get us out to where? We have nowhere to go. We have no ship. We have no... She stopped. Her eyes went wide. The beacon. What beacon? In the crash. There is an emergency beacon. I thought it was destroyed, but maybe... She was already moving toward the door. Maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can call for help. They went back to the barn, to the hidden ship. Lyra climbed inside and began pulling apart panels, looking through broken machinery. Do-hyun watched her work. She moved fast, her long fingers finding pieces and parts that he could not understand. She was speaking to herself in her language, and she did not sound hopeful, but she kept working. An hour passed. 2 hours. Do-hyun brought her food and water, but she barely touched them. Her glow was flickering between colors. Hope and fear and frustration, all mixed together. Then finally, she made a sound, a small gasp. I found it, she said. She pulled out a device about the size of a book. It was cracked down the middle and dark, dead. Can you fix it? Do-hyun asked. I do not know. The power core is broken, but maybe. She looked around. Your house. You have electricity? Yes. Take me there. They went back to the house. Lyra asked for wires, batteries, anything that made electricity. Do-hyun brought her everything he had. He brought her flashlight batteries and phone chargers and even the battery from his truck. She took them all and began connecting them to the beacon with wires and pieces of metal. It took her 4 hours. 4 hours of careful work, of wrong connections and failed attempts. Yuna and Teo sat together, watching with big eyes. Do-hyun paced back and forth. He kept looking out the window, expecting to see government trucks coming down the road. Then the beacon lit up. It was a small light, faint and flickering, but it was alive. Lyra touched a symbol on its surface and the device began to hum. "It is sending a signal," she said. "If any of my people are close enough to hear it, they will know where we are. How long until we know if someone is coming?" "I do not know. Hours, days. Maybe no one will come at all." "Then we wait," Do-yun said. They waited. The afternoon passed. The sun began to set. The beacon kept humming, sending its signal out into the sky. And then, just as night was falling, it beeped. Lyra rushed to it. She looked at a small screen on its surface. Her glow went bright gold. Hope. "Someone heard us," she said. "A ship. A refugee ship. They are in orbit around your moon. They are coming." "How long?" "They can send a shuttle tonight. But the landing zone must be far from people. Somewhere hidden." Do-yun thought. He knew these mountains. He knew every trail, every clearing, every hidden place. "There is a frozen lake," he said. 10 kilometers from here. In the winter, no one goes there. It is flat and open. A good place to land." "Then that is where we must go." Do-yun looked at her. Then he looked at the window, at the dark and cold outside. "We go now," he said. "Before the search team gets here. Before anyone can stop us." Lyra nodded. Her glow was steady and warm. She was ready. They packed quickly. Warm clothes, food, water, flashlights. Do-yun loaded everything into his truck. It was old, but it was strong. It could handle the mountain roads. Yuna came out of the house holding Teo's hand. Both girls looked scared, but determined. "I want to come," Yuna said. Do-yun knelt down to her level. "Yuna, it could be dangerous. I know, but Teo is my friend. I want to say goodbye. I want to see her be safe." He looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Okay, but you stay close to me the whole time. I promise." They got in the truck, all 4 of them. Do-yun started the engine and pulled out onto the road. The snow was deep and the truck struggled. The wheels spun and slipped, but it kept moving. Slowly, steadily, it kept moving. The road into the mountains was dangerous at night. In the dark, Do-yun could barely see where he was going. The headlights lit up only a small patch of white in front of them. Trees rose like black walls on either side. The wind had started again, blowing snow across the road. They drove for an hour, then 2. The road got narrower and rougher. More than once, the truck slid toward the edge, toward the drop. Do-yun's hands were tight on the wheel. His heart was pounding. In the back seat, Yuna was holding Teo's hand. Both girls were quiet. Lyra sat beside Do-yun, watching the road, her glow flickering with every turn. Then the road ended. They were still 2 kilometers from the lake, 2 kilometers of forest and hills and deep snow. "We walk from here," Do-yun said. They got out of the truck. The cold hit them immediately. It was worse up here in the mountains, colder than in the village. The wind cut through their clothes like knives. Lyra's glow went pale. Teo started shaking. "We have to move," Do-yun said. "Moving will keep us warm." He led the way. He broke the trail through the snow, pushing through with his legs, making a path for the others to follow. It was hard work. His legs burned, his lungs burned, but he kept going. Behind him, Lyra carried Teo on her back. Yuna walked between them, helping where she could. The forest was dark and silent around them. They climbed a hill, then another. The snow was getting deeper, the wind was getting stronger. Do-yun's hands were numb, his face was numb. Every step was harder than the last. But he could see it now, through the trees ahead. The lake. It was flat and white, a perfect circle of frozen water surrounded by black forest. And there, in the sky above it, a light was descending. The shuttle. "We are here," Do-yun said. "We made it." They stumbled out of the forest and onto the ice. The shuttle was coming down slowly, gently. It was larger than Lyra's crashed ship, sleek and beautiful. glowing with soft lights. It made no sound. It just floated down like a leaf falling from a tree. Lyra set Teo down and stared at the shuttle. Her glow was so bright it lit up the snow around her. "My people," she said. "I never thought I would see them again." The shuttle landed. A door opened. Light poured out. Figures stood in the doorway, tall and thin with silver-blue skin. Lyra's people. They had come. They had really come. Lyra turned to Do-hyun. There were tears on her face. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for everything." "Take care of yourself," he said. "Take care of Teo." "I will, I promise." She reached into her coat and pulled out a small object. It was round and smooth like a stone, but it glowed faintly from within. "Take this," she said. "It is a communicator. When your people are ready, use it. Call us. We will come as friends." Do-hyun took the device. It was warm in his hand. "We will be ready," he said. "Maybe not today, maybe not soon, but someday." "I believe you," Lyra said. "Because of you, because of Yuna. I believe humans can be good." Teo stepped forward. She looked at Yuna. Her glow was soft gold, but there was sadness in it. Yuna hugged her, tight and hard. "I will miss you," she said. Teo hugged her back. She said something in her language. The translator hummed. "Sister," it said. Yuna started crying. Then Teo did something. She pressed her hand to her chest and glowed brighter. And in that moment, Yuna's skin seemed to glow too. Just for a second. Just a flicker. Like their hearts were speaking to each other. Then Teo pulled away. She took her mother's hand. And together, they walked toward the shuttle. At the door, Lyra turned back one last time. "Goodbye, Do-hyun." "Goodbye, Yuna." "Goodbye," they said together. The door closed. The shuttle lifted off. It rose into the sky, higher and higher, until it was just a point of light. Then it disappeared among the stars. Do-hyun and Yuna stood alone on the frozen lake, looking up at the sky. "They made it," Yuna whispered. "Yes," Do-hyun said. "They made it." He put his arm around his daughter and held her close. The wind was cold and the night was dark, but he felt warm inside. They had done something good, something important, and that was enough. Life in the village returned to normal, or what passed for normal after the biggest storm in 50 years. The roads were cleared, the power stayed on, people fixed their roofs and their fences and complained about the weather. The world kept turning, but for Do-hyun and Yuna, nothing would ever be normal again. Yuna missed Teo every day. She kept the drawings they had made together. She kept the puzzle they had played with. At night, she looked at the stars and wondered which one Teo was near. She did not talk about it much, but Do-hyun could see it in her eyes. A sadness, a longing, the loss of a friend, unlike any other. He kept the communicator on the mantel above the fireplace. It sat there, quiet and dark, waiting for a day that might never come. Sometimes he looked at it and wondered if he had dreamed the whole thing, if Lyra and Teo had been real or just a story he had told himself. But then he would see the drawings, he would remember the glow, and he knew it was real, all of it. Then, one evening, someone knocked on the door. Do-hyun opened it and found two men in dark suits standing on his porch. They were polite, but serious. They showed him identification cards, government officials. "Mr. Park," one of them said, "we need to ask you some questions. May we come in?" Do-hyun let them in. He told Yuna to go to her room. She looked scared, but she did as he asked. The two men sat in his living room. They looked around with careful eyes. They looked at the fireplace, at the mantel, at the strange glowing device sitting there. "What is that?" one of them asked. "A gift," Do-hyun said, "from a friend." The men exchanged looks. Then one of them said, "Mr. Park, we know what happened here. We know about the crash. We know about the aliens. Do-yun's heart beat faster, but he kept his face calm. I do not know what you are talking about. Please, do not waste our time. Your friend Cho Min-jae told us everything. Do-yun felt a cold wave pass through him. Min-jae had told them. Min-jae had betrayed him. But then the man continued. He told us because he wanted us to understand. He wanted us to hear the whole story, not just the reports. He wanted us to know who you are, what you did, and why. Do-hyun did not know what to say. He waited. The search team found the crash site, the man said. The ship was gone, but we found traces. Materials that do not exist on Earth. Energy signatures we have never seen before. We know something was there. Something not from this world. What do you want from me? Do-hyun asked. The man leaned forward. We want to know what happened. We want to know where they went. And we want to know why you helped them instead of turning them in. Do-hyun looked at the two men for a long moment. He thought about lying. He thought about making up a story, something that would keep him and Yuna safe. But he was tired of fear. He was tired of hiding. So he told them the truth. He told them about the crash, about finding Lyra and Teo almost dead from cold. He told them about bringing them into his home, about warming them back to life. He told them about the translator, about learning to communicate. He told them about Yuna and Teo becoming friends. He told them about Lyra's fear of humans, and how that fear had slowly changed into something else. He told them about the escape, the frozen lake, the shuttle that came down from the sky, the goodbye. When he finished, the two men were quiet. They looked at each other. Then one of them said, "Why did you do it? You could have called the authorities. You could have turned them over and been a hero." Do-hyun thought about the question. It was a good question. He had asked himself the same thing many times. "Because my daughter saw a child freezing and asked me to help," he said finally. "That is all. That is all it was. A child was dying and my daughter wanted to save her, and I realized that was the right thing to do. The only thing to do. Even though they were aliens, even though they were unknown, they were not unknown to us. They were a mother and daughter. They were scared and hurt and alone. They were just like us." He paused. "We could have been afraid. We could have been cruel. But we chose not to be. We chose to help. And I think that is who we are, who we can be. The best of what humans are." The men were silent. Then one of them stood up. "Thank you for your honesty, Mr. Park. We will be in touch." They left. Do-hyun stood at the window and watched their car drive away. His hands were shaking. Yuna came out of her room. "Dad, are you in trouble?" "I do not know," he said. "Maybe." She hugged him. "You did the right thing. You know that, right?" "I know." That night, Do-hyun could not sleep. He kept thinking about what he had said, about what it meant, about what would happen next. Then, around midnight, the communicator on the mantel began to glow. He got up and walked to it. It was pulsing softly, gold and warm. He picked it up. It felt alive in his hand. He did not know how to use it, but somehow he knew what to do. He pressed it to his chest, like Lyra had done, and he spoke. "Lyra, are you there?" A moment of silence. Then a voice came through, clear and warm. "Do-hyun, I am here." He let out a breath he did not know he was holding. "You made it. You are safe." "Yes, we made it. We found our fleet. We are safe." Her voice was full of emotion. "I told them about you, about Yuna, about what you did. They did not believe me at first, but I told them again and again until they understood." "What did they say?" "They said maybe we were wrong about humans. Maybe there is hope for your kind after all." Do-hyun smiled. "There is. I believe there is." "I believe it too." A pause. "Teo asks about Yuna every day. She misses her very much. Yuna misses her too. Maybe someday when your people are ready, we can see each other again. Do-hyun looked at the communicator in his hand. He thought about the government men, about the fear and suspicion, about the long road ahead. Someday, he said, I promise. I will hold you to that promise. I know you will. They talked for a few more minutes. Then Lyra said goodbye. The communicator went dark. Do-hyun put it back on the mantel. He stood there for a long time, looking at it, thinking. The world was not ready. Not yet. There was too much fear, too much distrust. But things could change. People could change. He had seen it happen. He had seen Lyra change. He had seen himself change. It would take time. It would take patience. It would take more people choosing kindness over fear, trust over suspicion. But it was possible. He believed it was possible. He went to Yuna's room. She was sleeping, her face peaceful. Her mother's blanket was wrapped around her. He kissed her forehead. Thank you, he whispered, for teaching me what matters. She stirred but did not wake. He went back to the living room and sat by the fireplace. The fire had burned low. He added another log and watched the flames grow. Outside, the night was quiet. The stars were bright. Somewhere out there, among those stars, Teo was probably looking at the same sky, probably thinking about the same things, probably hoping for the same future, a future where humans and her people could meet again, as friends, as equals, as neighbors in a very large universe. Do-hyun looked at the communicator on the mantel. It was dark now, but he knew it was waiting for the day when it would be needed again. That day would come. He was sure of it. Because he had seen what humans could be at their best. He had seen compassion and courage and love. He had seen his daughter wrap a blanket around a dying alien child and sing her a lullaby. That was humanity, the real humanity, the one worth believing in. And somewhere among the stars, a golden glow was believing in it too. The end.